What kind of questions can I expect at my spouse visa interview at the embassy? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration attorney here in St. Louis, Missouri. This question comes to us today off the website. Someone wanted to know what kind of questions they would expect to hear at the Mumbai consulate, but we thought we'd make this video to answer more generally because questions aren't necessarily consulate specific. So when your paperwork's been processed, the National Visa Center has sent your application on to the embassy, the time comes for your interview, and people have a lot of questions about what's going to happen at the interview. You need to arrive early, and you need to be on time for sure. You want to bring all of your documents that you have submitted. You should have a copy of everything that you've submitted, and you should review those documents before you go in for the interview. You know, most times the U.S. citizen spouse is back in the United States and the foreign spouse goes to the interview alone. So it's important, first of all, to review all of your documents and make sure that you have a good recollection of all the facts of your case. You're going to definitely remember the date of your marriage, and you're going to want to be able to explain to the officer, because they're going to ask how you two met, why you decided to get married, and what your sort of long-term plans are when you come to the United States. You don't want to make any jokes. You don't want to be sarcastic. You want to be very direct. You want to answer their questions as concisely and as quickly as possible. Your job is not to educate them about your whole life story. Your job is to answer their questions and to do so respectfully and efficiently. You don't want to get into a big long talk, and you can be friendly, but you don't want to be overly chatty, and you don't want to think of this as time to make a new friend. This is official government business. They're trying to decide whether or not you're admissible in the United States and whether or not your marriage is valid. So you're going to have to do a good job of explaining the circumstances of how you and your spouse met, what your plan is, and what you're going to do when you get to the United States. That's basically it. You want to always tell the truth. If there's any problems at the interview, a lot of times you'll have a chance to explain it later. They might ask for more evidence. There might be a document or two that they want you to submit, but typically they don't schedule the interview until they have everything that they need, and the interview is pretty straightforward. You usually won't find out right on the spot from the consular officer that you've been approved, but they say that they've looked at it, they will look at everything over, that it all looks good, and that you'll hear from them shortly. You usually leave your visa or your passport at the embassy for the visa, and they either FedEx it back to you, or you can come back later and pick it up. Those are the ins and outs of consular processing of a spouse visa application. If you have any questions, or if you have your own topics that you'd like us to do a video on, we'd be happy to do so. Just give us a call, 314-961-8200, or shoot me an email, jim@hackinglawpractice.com. Thanks a lot.